I hate Norway. Norway is a miserable place. All this country exists to do is to make me miserable and hate myself and hate my life, and I'm trapped here. Hi everybody. Thank you for tuning in, lonely viewer. If you're coming back for the second, third, fourth time maybe, if you've never been on my page before, welcome. Hopefully I don't scare you away. So this video is entitled on misery and joy in Norway. I'm gonna try and do this in maximum 2 videos that aren't too long. Please don't get offended. As I said in the previous post, my kind of first 2 years here, I kind of hated it. But now I really love Norway. Yeah, so I mentioned in a previous post, I was kind of struggling to find anything positive to talk about. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So I didn't want to kind of get online and just start talking negative crap about an entire country. I mean, every time a Norwegian person would ask me, "Trives du I Norge?" or I would go home or go back to London or wherever, and like an old university friend or high school friend would ask me like, "Oh, are you really enjoying yourself?" I found it really difficult to, like, I couldn't really answer honestly, because, you know, you're supposed to be having a great old time over there in the overseas. I kind of tried to learn how to put on a fake smile and say, you know, I'm having a great time, but I know that I'm not a very good liar. Yeah, I'm surviving. I knew at my core that I felt like I was dying inside. At the age of 22, 23, I genuinely felt like I was someone who had lived a good 10, 15 years longer than I really have. That all sounds very negative. So before I continue, I just want to say that really, I have 0 regrets about moving to Norway. Really, this probably thus far the biggest adventure I've gone on since I was born. The truth about stepping out of your comfort zone is that it is very uncomfortable. You don't like it all the time because we like comfort. Remind yourself that you decided to step out on this adventure and out of your comfort zone. So, when I actually wrote this letter to myself, this was sometime last July. I'd had a breakthrough the previous November 2015. I had time to reflect on why I was having such a shitty time and why I was experiencing self-loathing. I don't really want to use the word depression because I've never been diagnosed with depression, and I think people use that word very lightly. But I guess some of the symptoms, some of my behaviors were kind of reflective of emotional, maybe mental issues as well, because I just sunken into this like sort of cycle of self-pity and self-loathing and just sadness and misery and just hating everything. Like I said, I think I cried every single day. I'm saying every single day for the first 6 months I was here. And I thought it was because of Norway, but it turns out upon reflection that actually Norway had very, very little to do with all the misery that I was going through. And that breakthrough kind of allowed me to like crack past this message, this story that I told myself that I hate Norway. Norway is a miserable place. All this country exists to do is to make me miserable and hate myself and hate my life, and I'm trapped here. I got past that because I finally understood that Norway wasn't my problem. I was. So I'm going to highlight the things that I think contributed to my my misery. The first one was unrealistic expectations. So like I said, I was super excited to be moving to Norway, and I thought Norway would be excited that I was moving to it. And when I was met with a cold indifference, it kind of shook me a little bit. Not because I think I'm more interesting or more important than I am, but because I thought I'm taking a leap of faith and jumping into this country that really, under normal circumstances, I would have no reason or any business being there. And I'm diving in and it's going to be a Disney movie. And it wasn't a Disney movie. People just, I mean, Firstly, there are cultural differences. In some countries, you belong to us now, come and eat with us, be one of us, we love you. So when I found that people didn't really care that much that I'd come to their country, it felt like a rejection. I didn't like that very much. So I think I took that very personally. My second failure, or the second thing that contributed to my misery when I moved here, was pride. So like I said, Norway didn't owe me excitement, to be honest with you, but somehow it just felt like a rejection. By moving here, I felt like I had raised a lot of expectations from back home. People in high school, people in university, who were all like, why would you move to Norway? But then I started asking myself, like, is it worth being in this country where people stare at you because you look different, where people don't act the way that I do? So in other words, what I'm saying is that I came from abroad and came here and expected everyone to behave the way I wanted them to behave. And when they didn't, I kind of threw a strop for 2 years. That's essentially it. Another thing that kind of contributed was loneliness. Now I have to make a distinction here between being alone and being lonely. I think looking back now, this was mostly because I was isolating myself. Like I said, I was proud and my pride was hurt, so I started withdrawing from the Norwegian way and just Norwegian life and just Norway in general. So I fell into a cycle of basically going to work, coming home, going to the gym, coming home. And every single time I got an opportunity, every single time, I would just travel somewhere else. I'd go to London. I never spent any time in Bergen because I was like, there's nothing here for me. I didn't make an effort to try and get to know people and have a life here and build a life in Bergen because I'd already decided that Bergen doesn't like me. I don't like Bergen. Essentially, what I'm saying is that in a situation like that, you just have to let your pride go. You have to make yourself a bit vulnerable, put yourself out there. So the loneliness was the worst part for me. So I had to learn how to overcome that. I've listed number 4 here, which that's my last one, is shouldering people's burdens. So I say that the first 6 months that I lived in Norway, I cried every single day. That's not strictly true. Probably the first week was amazing because I still had my rose-colored glasses on. When someone said Norway, word association was skiing, moose, snow, salmon, and lumberjacks. Yeah. Very soon, I got talking to some foreign people who worked at the same workplace as me, or I would just meet along the way through other people, many of whom had had negative experiences here. So don't get me wrong, Norway is not an easy place for a foreign person to come here and feel at ease. Many foreigners feel kind of this displacement. There are also a lot of foreigners who come here and they're like, Norway is home. I'm never gonna go anywhere else. I fell in love with a Norwegian and even though it didn't work out, I'm here forever because this is home. It's not like that for everybody. So I ended up interacting with quite a few foreign people, expats or otherwise, who moved here and they hated their experience here. For me, it was a mistake, I think, to entertain conversations with people who felt so strongly that they had to share about how much I was going to hate it. What would have been wise in retrospect would have been to politely exit that conversation. I mean, within 2 months of being here, I was being told, you know, this place is horrible, it's cold, it's rainy, you're never going to get married, you're going to be single forever, you're going to hate it, it's going to be horrible, Norwegians are rude, Norwegians are that, da, 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 da. Once you allow that seed in, it becomes a nucleation point for more negativity to amass, and it just snowballs, and it consumes you. It's like you end up wearing a fishbowl of negativity over your head. It's not even a clean fishbowl. So yeah, I mean, the reason I'm sharing this with you guys, because I guess I'm not the only person who has left my comfort zone and moved to a foreign country. Like I said, there is a positive side to everything and to my entire experience here. I'm deliberately going to make the everything I love about Norway video longer than this one, just to kind of make a point that yeah, that there's two sides to every coin. So yeah, hopefully this video helped someone, or at least was a little bit interesting. Look out for my next video. That will be about how I managed to turn all the negatives to joy, what I had to realize, what I had to understand, what I had to do in order to do that in a foreign country where I'm an outsider basically. But yeah, so I hope to see you on my channel again soon. And until then,